like to welcome to the show a new friend and acquaintance of mine, Charla Wright from Assured Hospice. Charla, it's been months since I've seen you in person. It's nice to see you virtually.
Me too, James. Yeah, thank you.
As I was mentioning earlier, I do a little snooping on every one of my guests on the Clallam Corner. I like to see what they're doing and maybe spend even just 10 minutes vetting you online. And I see you've done some Zoom calls recently, so you're no stranger to this.
Okay, no.
Okay.
In fact, I just did a training. I just hung up the phone and now I'm dialing you. And I just performed a training for my team.
Well, it's always nice to meet someone else who's used to seeing their face on camera, because I know for the first couple of weeks when we were doing it with my team, they're kind of like, oh, how do I do this? My background, I don't know. So talk to me about a subject. This is obviously something that is one of those weird subjects that a lot of people don't like talking about. They don't like thinking it's going to happen to them, but at the end of the day, it happens to everyone. And so you're involved with Assured Hospice Care. Can you just kind of give me an oversight? Because I know what it is, but a lot of people won't.
Yeah, Assured Hospice of Clallam and Jefferson County is a Medicare, Medicaid provider of professional hospice care in somebody's home, wherever that might be: nursing home, assisted living, private home, trailer, tent. You'd be amazed at some of the places that we service people. But it provides everything a person needs to stay at home and receive this wonderful care by specially trained clinicians, and have everything covered from equipment, oxygen, bed, medications, disposable products like pens and gloves and creams, air mattresses, without any copays. It's Medicare or Medicaid will cover that 100%. We've never sent a bill to any family or patient, and we come to them. And especially now when if a person is in a nursing home or community where they're limiting family access, home is where you want to be. And it's a wonderful program, and we're all honored and to be able to give this care to people. Oops, sorry for that.
You weren't kidding. You are popular. Look at you.
That is actually my why. Yeah, that is my why. So we can give this care to people in their home.
So for a novice who doesn't understand it and thinks that hospice sounds a lot like the word hospitality, if someone doesn't know what hospice care, how would you describe it? What are we talking about?
Well, actually, hospice came from the word hospitality. Yeah, I've done my homework. So it is a caring and customer service aspect in someone's home, if you will. I mean, if you think about going to the highest level of hotels, it's 5-star hotel, which is what we are in a Medicare rating. We are a 5-star agency. We want to provide the best care for this last journey of someone's life. And I know I would want that, although my picture, what I want, is going to be different from yours. But I want that, and I want the highest level of care, and that's what we provide.
Which is something awesome, and our community obviously has a great need for it. In an aging community, it's something, like I said, a lot of people that, I hang in my circles, it's not something we talk about very often, but It's something that at some point in time becomes a familiar subject for folks that have aging parents or themselves are aging spouses. Hospice care, I believe, and you'll get to correct me, is when people are terminally ill, basically know that there's the end in sight, and you guys are able to help them stay in their house, stay comfortable, provide different things, so that way they're not just shipped off to a ward somewhere, that they get to kind of do it their way, almost like a birthing plan. It's kind of like the opposite, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because if you ask 100 people, how many want to go to a hospital and die? Who wants to be in that environment? You're going to get maybe 5 hands. There's just nobody that wants to go to this sterile, cold environment and pass away. People want to be home where they can hear the sounds of their family laughing and smells of foods cooking, and their memories hanging on the wall, and grandkids running around or kids running around. That's what makes the journey so personal and loving. And then we can come in a non-invasive way, provide what they need, and step back and let you be you in your home, wherever that is. And we service from, unfortunately, babies to elderly. So we are, it doesn't matter of age.
Yeah, it's just a great subject to shed light on. Like you said, it's something people don't talk about. A lot of people put their head in the sand. It's like a lot of people with finances or these sort of subjects, they just kind of like hum along and hope that they don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Keep kicking the can down the road.
Yeah. It's nice to know too that there is no out-of-pocket expense. It's just one less thing to worry about.
So obviously insurance, we talked about that, but in doing research, it seems like a lot of your organization is based on volunteers. Can you talk to me about if people want to get organized or involved in the organization outside of needing the service, but wanting to help? How can people help?
Yeah. Contact our office. Caitlin Charles is our volunteer coordinator, and she does an amazing job. She matches up our volunteers with their skills versus what the patient and family needs. So we try to, make for example, we have a program called We Honor Veterans, and this program will match up a veteran volunteer with our veteran patient because they speak a language I don't know. I'm not a veteran, so they have that unspoken language that only veterans know and can communicate, and it provides them with a support unique. Sometimes our volunteers don't want to be in a patient home. They're great at just doing administrative work. They want to help, but they don't necessarily they're not comfortable with that, patient care. So it kind of depends what the volunteer wants to do. You just give us a call. My number is right here. You can, and Caitlin will just walk you through the process. And because we are Medicare, Medicaid, they would go through a background check, just like anybody else, and then go through our training.
But no prior experience needed. If someone just has a big heart and they want to help, obviously, as long as they can pass the background check and just jump through the, a few minor hoops, it's not like they have to have had nursing experience or anything to be able to get involved.
Right, that's correct. They won't be able to administer any medications or do anything like that. But, absolutely no prior experience is needed.
How many volunteers do you guys have?
Well, we're kind of low right now. We only have like 12 right now.
Okay.
Pretty low. All of our staff, our social worker, our nurse, our chaplain, our bereavement are all full-time employees. All of our nurses, we have 9 nurses, I think, all full-time employees. So there's 2 different agencies in the community that service hospice, and we are the Medicare Medicaid provider. The other one is a volunteer.
So let's get a little bit of insight into Charla. If you weren't doing this, if you got to describe your dream job, is it teaching sailing lessons, being a dog walker? They always say, what would you do if money didn't matter? Obviously, we all like to think that what we do, we love, but what would you be doing if hospice wasn't in the picture at all?
Well, my master's is in education, and I loved teaching kindergarten. I taught kindergarten for a few years before I went into the upper grades, and I just love those little guys. They are so funny and have the best stories and responses to, the silliest things. And I could be silly with them, and it just made my heart light. So if I could do anything, I would do that. Yeah.
It's funny you say that. As you know, my wife, Sarah, she's taught first grade for years and years and years. And I used to love going, and when I would go in and help or go for the day or volunteer, I have a question. Then you hear this long 45-second monologue, and that was it. And I go, is that a question, or did you just want to talk? Like, we're just ready to fill the airspace. It's more of story time, which is always fun.
Yeah. They're just like little sponges. They're fun to be around. Makes you young. Yeah.
And one other question, I'm just always trying to get more out of the individuals. Obviously, the entities are fun, but the individuals are what people care about.
Right.
What is one culinary realization you've had kind of during the COVID lockdown? I know people have been cooking a lot more, maybe ordering takeout more than going dining in. What's something that you have realized about yourself? Are you a creature of habit? Like every Wednesday you're cooking this, or you cook too much of this, or you're dipping into the peanut butter with a spoon too often? What's something that you can admit to that might make people have a smile?
Well, I think the first that comes to mind now, mind you, my oldest is 30. And so I have been cooking for children for 30 years because I still have two at home. First thing that comes to mind is I am sick of cooking, and I don't want to do it anymore. And I live far enough away that nobody delivers to my house. So if I'm going to do takeout, I have to like pick it up while I'm in town or running through town somewhere. So I think COVID has killed my cooking spirit, if anything. And so I'm doing a lot of that peanut butter jar thing.
Yeah, there's been some big realizations when I've talked to people about what creatures' habits they are, or just how, the first couple of months they were all excited. Let's try new recipes. Let's order this cookbook. And now they're like, I'm making another cheese quesadilla. I'm bored.
Yeah, another pot of soup. All right, it's good for all week.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time out and sharing some information about Assured Hospice. I'll put the information down here below. So if people want to get a hold of Charlotte or her team, whether it's for needs of service or inspiration to volunteer, what questions, whatever you want, it's an awesome organization that our community sorely needs, which is really great to share.
Thank you so much, Jim, for having me here.